what we're going to go over is how to use a TI-30X2S calculator in order to do calculations that are in scientific notation. The first thing that you need to be careful of is that your calculator is in scientific notation mode. So to put it in scientific notation mode, you're going to hit the second button, then hit the DRG button. Then you should see that different settings are going to pop up on your screen. You need to hit the right arrow button so that the psi is underlined on your screen. Then you're going to hit enter. Once you hit enter on the bottom of your calculator, you should see the setting says psi. That means that it's in scientific notation mode. If you need to reverse this, hit the second button, hit DRG, hit the arrow that goes towards the left, underline flow, and then hit enter. All right, so let's look at this one more time. So in order to put it in scientific notation mode, I hit the second button, then DRG. I move it over so that psi is underlined, and then I hit enter, and at the bottom of my screen, it says psi. So now the calculator is in scientific notation. So the question is, why do we use scientific notation? So right here is a number that you are going to be using in the second unit. You can see that that is a really, really small number. And if you were required to write that number down as is or put that into the calculator, it would be a lot of work. So instead, we convert numbers like this that are either very, very large or very, very small into scientific notation. So that number from the previous slide looks like this in scientific notation. It's 6.63 times 10 to the negative 34. So that 6.63 part is called the coefficient, the 10 portion is called the base, and then the negative 34 is what's referred to as the exponent. So now the question is, how do I put that number into that calculator? So in order to put the number into that calculator, the first thing that you want to do is hit the parentheses, then type 6.63, hit the second button, then that button that's above the 7 gives me an E, then negative 34, and then another parentheses. So that E portion, that stands for times 10. So you don't need to put times 10 into the calculator. You don't need to put like a caret. If you follow what I just did in that video, you would put the number in correctly. So I put a parentheses, 6.63. I hit the second button, then I hit that button above the 7 on the calculator, and it produced that E. That E stands for times 10. Then after that, I wrote what the exponent is, and then I put another parentheses. So there's two different types of calculations that you're going to be doing with numbers that are in scientific notation. The first is multiplying, and the second is dividing. So let's look at this problem right here. 6.63 times 10 to the negative 34 times 7.4 times 10 to the 11. Let's see how you would put that into the calculator. So you would do parentheses 6.63, second button, hit that button to get the E, negative 34, parentheses, another parentheses, 7.4, second button, put my E in, to the 11, parentheses, and then hit enter. And I would take that answer and round it 2 places after the decimal point to get 4.91 times 10 to the negative 22. Make sure if the exponent has a negative that you write that negative next to it. If you leave that negative off, it's not the same answer. All right, second version is going to be dividing numbers that are in scientific notation. So let's say we have 3.0 times 10 to the 8 divided by 7.2 times 10 to the negative 7. This is how I would input that onto the calculator. I would do parentheses 3.0, second button, put the E to the 8, parentheses, divided by 7.2, second button, put my E in, negative 7, parentheses, hit enter, and I would get that answer right there. I would round that 2 places after the decimal point to get 4.17 times 10 to the 14.